Now, in this lesson, I'm going to teach you some cool, well, pretty cool phrases, natural spoken English, to talk about your family. And also, as a bonus, at the end of the video, I'm going to answer the question, a model answer, if you like, to the question, what's your family like? Yes, the truth, finally, everything you want to know about me and my family. Stick around to the end to find out. But for now, let's push on. Let's begin and talk about, family size. Now, if you have a large family with lots of brothers and sisters, you may say, I come from a big family. I come from a big family. Great, exactly. The opposite, I come from a small family. I come from a small family. Can you say? Nice. I come from a small family. If you have no brothers and no sisters, you'll probably say, I was an only child. I was an only child. I was an only child. Notice we use was. I was an only child. Was because it's the past. Well, because you're no longer a child. Of course, you could say I am an only child, but normally we use the past. Although I remember, right, my mother, when I was 25, my brother and sister were 30 something, and my mother was like, where are the children? And we're like, hello, mum, 25, not a child. But that's mothers for you. Ah, bless them, right? Now, if you had brothers and sisters, let's say 2 brothers and 2 sisters, you could say, I was one of 5 siblings. Siblings means brothers and sisters. But remember to include yourself, right? 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and you. I was one of 5 siblings. What about you? Right, good. Actually, I was one of 3 siblings for me. Now, siblings, we don't use that much. We tend to say brothers and sisters more, although we have the expression sibling rivalry. And this is where brothers and sisters compete against each other and try always to be better. There was a lot of sibling rivalry in my family. What about you? Great. Now, do you remember this? My family has 5 family members. Not good. What would be much more natural, remember? Yes, there are 5 of us in my family. So, how many people are in your family? Great. Leave me a comment below. Let me know the size of your family. Now, interesting, right? A lot of students ask me the question, if they are asked, tell me about your family. And they say, Keith, do I talk about my nuclear family or my extended family? Okay, well, now, up until the quick answer, right, is it's up to you. You decide. It's fine. Up until the age of, say, 20, you're probably going to talk about your brothers and sisters, your parents, grandparents, maybe some uncles. This is what we call the extended family. But at some point in your life, maybe, if you're lucky, you will fall in love. Oh, and you will make a long-term commitment to someone. And that someone, maybe you get married. Maybe you have children. Doesn't matter. But that person becomes your family. And this is what we call the nuclear family, right? Not nuclear bomb, but well, sometimes maybe, but nuclear family. It's your partner and children, if you have children. So the quick answer, you can talk about either nuclear family or extended family, whichever you like. Or both. Why not? Let's move on. Okay, let's move on and talk about brothers and sisters, or siblings, if you like. Now, brothers and sisters can be sometimes very, very similar, but sometimes they're actually incredibly different. So if they are very, very similar, you can say, for example, my brother and I are like two peas in a pod. It means we're so similar. Or my sister and I are like two peas in a pod. If you're completely different, my brother and I are like chalk and cheese. Great. Now, of course, you can use these expressions not only for siblings, but for relationships with parents or uncles or grandparents or partners or spouses. Here are some more expressions you can use for that relationship. We have our ups and downs. Ups and downs is the good times and the bad times, right? So sometimes you get on well, sometimes you don't. We have our ups and downs. Another expression with a similar meaning that we don't always agree. We don't always see eye to eye. Eye to eye is to agree. We don't always see eye to eye. Notice the linking. See eye to eye. See eye to eye. We don't always see eye to eye. Also, well, sometimes we fall out and then we make up. To fall out is to have a disagreement with somebody and to be angry and to refuse to talk to them. And then to make up is to come back together to love each other again. So sometimes we fall out, but then we make up. Now, if the people in your family, you get on pretty well together and you're close, you can say, well, we are a close family. Or, we are a tight-knit family. Sometimes that can be, we are a tightly knit family. Tightly knit family. We're a tightly knit family. Just meaning we're close, right? The thing is, to be honest, I don't think people in a family always get on well together, right? I mean, that's not very realistic. There are always ups and downs. But even so, you can be a tight-knit family, right? Even though you have your differences. That normally means you have different opinions. So you can say, well, yes, we have our differences, but we're a tight-knit family. And also, if your family is important to you, you can say, my family is everything to me. Or, and, I love them to bits. I love my family to bits. To love somebody to bits is to love them a lot, right? And finally, my family mean the world to me. My family mean the world to me. World. Great. Lovely. Let's push on. Okay, now let's talk about children. Now, to be honest, I don't know if you have any children or not. Why not leave me a comment below and let me know? What, Keith, another comment? Well, yes, why not? You need to practice. Let me know if you have any children. Now, if you are a parent and you've got children, you'll know this. Sometimes as parents, especially in the early days, we want to take care of our children, but we do too much for them. Here are 3 expressions or phrases you can use, right? As a parent, I try not to be overprotective. Overprotective, to protect and to do too much. I don't want to spoil my children. I try not to spoon feed them. I love that expression, to spoon feed them. I mean, literally, right? It's to feed them with the spoon. So you're giving them the food. But it's more abstract. It's just to do everything for them, right? Even when they're 15 years old, you can spoon feed them, but better not do. I try not to spoon feed them because I want them to be a bit more independent so they can look after themselves in the big wide world.